Okay, if you own a bearded dragon or a lizard that requires light or heat at all, and you come here to like PetSmart or Petco and you see all these different options for all these light bulbs, I'm going to explain to you what each one of these mean. Okay, so up here you have these what's called 3-in-1 bulbs. Why are they called 3-in-1 bulbs? Because they have heat, light, and UVB in each bulb. Now, this particular brand has been known to lack UVB. At our store, I've ordered these bulbs and there are other fluorescent bulbs, and when I tested them, they tested nothing for UVB whatsoever. Now, these 3-in-1 bulbs, this is more of a generic version of this one, but they both come from the same place, which is China, and you can find these 3-in-1 mercury vapor bulbs online for about 25 bucks, and I'll save you some money there. Then you got all these bulbs right here that are basically between the prices of $10 and $20. So this ZoomEd makes this one right here. What's this red light for? Now, do you need to have a red light on your reptile all the time? No, you don't. But if it's outdoors and it's the winter time, then I would say yes, I would recommend a red light. But the problem is you're not giving the reptile what's called a photo period. But this is their blue bulbs right here, and here's another version of it right here. These two blue bulbs actually have heat and UVA, which is eye health and psychological health. But this red bulb is not necessary unless you own chickens or turkeys or something like that. Then in the wintertime, they're going to need, some form of heat. Here is a ceramic heat emitter. Now, the problem is a lot of pet stores will push all this stuff on you because it means money for them. But a ceramic heat emitter is not necessary unless your reptile is outside or you have, again, chicken, turkeys, pigs, whatever, in the wintertime and they're outside. Then yeah, you can get a ceramic heat emitter. It just emits heat and no light whatsoever. Then you have what's called the fluorescent bulbs or the T5s. There's also T8s and T12s. I don't agree with these bulbs at all unless it's a fish tank. But to buy these for reptiles is silly because let's say you have a bearded dragon or a corn snake, for instance. They need to be able to escape the UVB after a while. And they can't do that if you have the entire cage covered in UVB. Unless you have for them some kind of cave or something of that nature, then this would be fine. But the other thing with T5s, T8s, T12s is they run out of UVB quickly. So you need to replace them about every 4 months, whereas if you had this Exoterra UVB bulb right here, you would have to replace it about every 8 months. ZoomEd also has this bulb called Creatures. So what's special about this bulb where they put a picture of a tarantula and a millipede on here and something that looks like a tail of scorpion? What's special about this? Nothing. It's just heat and light, and that is it. So I'm going to correct PetSmart for this one. It says replace bulbs every 6 to 12 months because UVB output decreases over time. This is very, very true. So what is used on these bulbs is called neodymium, and the coating of that neodymium wears out after a while. It just burns up basically, and it'll run out. But again, so if you have a T5, T8, or T12, you need to replace it every 4 months. But if you have one of these fluorescent screw-in bulbs right here that you would use with a heat shield, you would need to replace it every 8 months. But this is basically here to make sure that you keep coming back and buying light bulbs from them. Okay, so how about this right here? This is $80. This is outrageous. That price is outrageous, but I get it. It's PetSmart. They got corporate jets and so forth to pay for. But let's take a look at these two bulbs that are in here. They got a picture of a panther chameleon on here. Okay, Gary at ZoomEd, I don't know why you put a picture of a panther chameleon on here, and you got a very weak UVB light on here. And I always encourage people to buy the UVB digital testers. You just push the button and put it under the bulb, and you can tell what the output of the UVB is. And then you got Gary, you got a why you have a UVA here that's only 60 watts. Why would you do that? This is a panther chameleon. They need hotter and way more UVB than this. But all in all, you could buy this and just replace these two bulbs with, say, something more powerful like the Exoterra desert bulb, and then maybe like a 75 or 100-watt bulb. But you always have to give the Reptile an area to get away from the heat, to get away from the UVB. That's really important, especially for panther chameleons. And if you don't have the right UVB lighting for panther chameleons, they will lose all of their beautiful coloring. Okay, again, Zoom Ed, Mr. Gary B. Why do you call this desert lighting? Okay, this is a really tiny shield, so this would be for about a 15-gallon or less. You might be able to score by with a 20-gallon or less. But what is so special about this light bulb in here? And they have a picture of the box. That actual box is in this box. What is so special about this bulb? Nothing. It's just light and heat and really pretty packaging. And what's very deceiving and misleading about this is you think, oh, my bearded dragon is going to be happy and healthy like this bearded dragon because he's under this light. But this light right here, Gary, has no UVB. So Gary B is responsible for killing lizards because people think this is all they need. And when in fact, this is just heat and light. These are bulbs that he buys from China for less than $1. And we're charging $31.99 for these light bulbs. That's ridiculous. If you want to know more, I created a community for everybody to join. You can find other videos on there from other people with similar problems, most likely, and it's only $7. And I will tell everybody anything they want to know. I will be brutally honest about everything, and I hope everybody enjoys my brutal honesty. And that community is at petshoptalk.com.